Welcome to the Thousand Smiles EMR Monitor System Overview and Tutorial. In this presentation, an overview of how we register and schedule patients using the Thousand Smiles EMR will be provided. The monitor application will be explained in detail. Other presentations cover the registration and station applications. A demo will be provided at the end of the video. Thousand Smiles EMR is a tablet-based system based on the Kindle Fire HD10. For more information on the Kindle Fire HD10 and its basic operation, you can visit the URL on the screen. These tablets are used to register patients outside, check in patients at stations as they are seen by dentists, X-ray, ENT, and so forth. And they're also used to display the status of the clinic on TV screens which are located throughout the clinic. These monitors depict the status of each station, whether they're active, waiting, or away. They show the patients that are scheduled to be seen in the order of their arrival. And the monitors are basically available on the tablets as an application which can be used to view the same information. This is an example of the monitor application as seen on the TV. In this screenshot, we see 4 stations depicted, 2 X-ray, 2 orthodontic. The monitor is currently displaying in Spanish, but it's capable of displaying in English as well. In fact, it will rotate between the 2 languages. We can see in this screenshot that all of the stations depicted are currently active. Here we can see a TV monitor that is in the dental waiting area. The parents and patients can use this monitor to determine where their child is in the clinic and approximately how much time they need to wait before being called to a station. The staff can also use these monitors to get an idea of the status of the clinic. For example, how many patients are currently still in the system, where the bottlenecks are, and they can use the monitors to also get an idea of about how long we're taking with each patient, how many patients are waiting, so on and so forth. Registration volunteers will use the registration application outside to register patients as they arrive. Runners will refer to the monitor application, which is viewed on the TVs or from a tablet, to determine the state of a station and when and where to take patients for care. Dentist, orthodontist, surgery screen, ENT, audiology, X-ray, all of the clinic personnel will use the station application to sign patients in and out of the chairs, view medical history, view or modify the routing slip, and at some point in the future, they will be able to access digital chart data for the patient. A station is a place to which a patient is taken by a runner. Examples include dental chair, ortho chair, X-ray, surgery screening, speech, ENT, audiology. Multiple stations for a service such as dental will exist whenever 2 or more patients can receive that service simultaneously. Each station has a number. Dental 1, Dental 2, and Dental 3 are examples of station names that are given to the dental stations. The stations for a given clinic must be determined before the clinic starts, before the first patient of the day is registered outside. Patients are checked in and checked out using the station application when they arrive and leave a station, respectively. Tablets will be used to register patients outside. Runners will refer to the TV monitors to determine which stations are waiting for a patient. Runners will select the patient that is at the head of the line for the station and escort that patient to the station. At the station, the patient is checked in using a tablet. The TV monitors will show the station is busy once that's done. Once the patient has been seen, he or she will be checked out. Again, this will be done using the tablet, and once the patient's checked out, the station will show itself as being yellow on the TV monitors. The line that a patient is placed into by the system is based on the classification of the patient, the time of arrival of the patient, and the length of the lines providing care at the time the patient is placed. When a patient is registered outside, he or she is given a category: new cleft, returning cleft, orthodontic, dental only, or other. As patients flow through the system, they are assigned to stations based on the patient's routing slip. The patient routing slip is defined by 2 things: the category of the patient that was assigned by registration, and changes that are made at the station to the routing slip. In our clinics, ENT will be the initial stop for cleft patients, and they will add additional stations to the patient's routing slip based on their assessment of the patient's needs. That said, other stations will have the ability to modify the routing slip as well. A station can be in one of three states: active, waiting, or away. An active station is one that has a patient in the chair and is being seen. A waiting station has no patient in the chair, but it's staffed and it's waiting for a runner to bring the next patient to the chair. An away station is one that has been marked as being at lunch or on a break. These states are changed at the chair using the station application. The TV monitors directly indicate the state of the station. A queue or line with the first item in green indicates that the station is active. A queue or a line with the first item in yellow indicates the station is waiting. And finally, a station that is away will display a time of return and indicate that the chair is not currently staffed. It will show the status in light blue. When a patient arrives, the patient is checked in using the tablet and the station becomes active. When work on a patient is completed, the patient is checked out and the station goes to the waiting state. When the station is waiting, the tablet will display the next patient to be seen. This process will continue with the next patient checked in, checked out, checked in, checked out, and so on until all patients have been seen. Let's now take a closer look at the flow of the monitor application. This will include things like login, how to go through the screens, how to interpret the screens, and how to remove patients from a line. Launcher icons are located on the Android desktop. Click the desired icon to launch the corresponding application. In our case, to launch the monitor application, you want to find the icon that depicts the blue rotary symbol and has a TV monitor in green depicted on it. Here's an example of the Kindle Fire HD10's desktop. You can see the three Thousand Smiles applications are located at the bottom of the screen, and they're pointed to by white arrows. The monitor application is the one on the far left, which again is showing the blue rotary icon and a TV monitor in green. Clicking on that will launch the monitor application. Mexican regulations require that each user of the system be identifiable via a login. We must also track what patient data that user views and modifies while they are logged into the system. Your login will consist of the same username and password that is used by you to register yourself as a volunteer for Thousand Smiles at our volunteer website. If you do not have a volunteer account yet, please create one and bring the username and password when signing on to the tablet. If you don't remember your username or password, please see a board member or area leader for assistance. You can also change your password online up to the day before the clinic. Our clinics start on Thursdays, so Wednesday will generally be the cutoff for adding new accounts and for changing passwords. It's important that you never use someone else's password or username. Never give yours out for someone else to use. You will be responsible for any patient data access that occurs via your username. This screen depicts the login of the monitor application. Fairly straightforward. It has username field and password field, and when you fill both of those in, click sign in to sign into the system. The monitor application's primary function is to display the status of the clinic. It does this by showing each station. For each station, the following is displayed: its state, whether it's active, waiting, or away, and the patients that have been assigned to the station in order of their arrival based on the routing slip. In this screenshot, we can see basically two stations depicted: X-ray 2 and Ortho 1. Both are in the waiting state. This can be seen by the fact that the child at the front of the line is depicted in yellow, and the status line is also depicted in yellow. The X-ray line is interesting because it's actually split into three columns. Anytime you see a parenthesized number after a column name, that indicates an extension line. Only the front of the line will be depicted in a color. Any other lines will be in some form of gray or white. So Here we have basically two stations, X-ray 2 and ortho 1. X-ray 2 required 3 columns to display the entire line. Ortho 1 is short, only has 2 patients. It required only 1 column to display its patient list. As we saw, colors can be used to show the state of the station. If the topmost patient is green, then the station is active. There's a patient at the station, and that patient is being seen. If the topmost patient is yellow, then the station is waiting. This patient should be taken by a runner to the station, unless that station is in the away state. Here we see a screen showing 4 stations: Dental 1, Dental 2, Dental 3, Dental 4. Dental 2 is currently active. This is because the topmost patient is showing in green. Dental 1, Dental 3, and Dental 4 are all waiting for a patient to be taken to them by a runner. If the station is away, the top patient in line will display in yellow. The status area of the station will indicate that the station is away in blue. The time that the station is planned to become active once again is shown on the screen in the status area. Again, if there's a patient or patients in line, the topmost will still show in yellow. The key to indicating that a station is an away state is that the status is in blue and that there's a time depicted as when the station will become active once again. Here's a screenshot showing surgery screening 1 as being away. We can see that it's depicting a will return time approximately 20 or so minutes from now. Regardless of the fact that they're away, we can still see who the next patient is in line by looking directly below at that one patient in yellow, which is patient 25. Once the station becomes active again, patient 25 should be taken to that chair to be seen. So, all patients in line for a station that is away will remain in that line. No new patients, however, will be added to the line by the scheduler. Depending on the time remaining and the state of other lines, these patients can be taken to a different station of the same type. For example, if Dental 1 is away and Dental 2 has no waiting patients, a runner could take a Dental 1 patient to Dental 2. If a patient is in line for a station, the patient can be removed from that line by clicking on the patient and confirming the removal. Once the patient is deleted from the line, he or she will be scheduled for the next station in his or her routing slip, if such a station exists. You only want to delete a patient from a line if the patient does not need to be seen by a station of that type. Removing X-ray patients is the main reason we provide the functionality for removing patients from a line, and we believe this will be a common task. This is because all patients who are registered as dental only will be sent to X-ray first. However, some patients won't need X-rays. This is determined by referring to their chart. If a patient does not need X-ray, you can use the tablet to remove that patient from the X-ray line that the patient was placed into by the system. Once you remove that patient from X-ray, that patient will then be placed into a dental line automatically. To remove a patient from a line, click on the patient using the tablet application. You will be given a dialog which confirms whether or not you really want to delete that patient from the line. If you do, click the delete button. If you don't want to delete the patient, click cancel. Now it's time for a short demo of the features of the Monitor application. Here we are on the desktop. We're going to scroll up, find the Monitor app, click on it. This is the splash screen that will display. And we're going to log in as a test user. Once the username and password are entered, click on the sign in button. If you get the username and password wrong, it'll let you know and you can try again. The Monitor app basically shows the status of the entire clinic in a series of screens. It will show each screen for about 20 seconds, then go to the next screen. After all of the clinic stations are displayed in English, it will show them all again in Spanish. Then we'll go back and do English and Spanish and so on. And that's important because we have native speakers who are speaking in both English and Spanish at our clinics. So here we see a couple of x-ray stations. Notice that they're both requiring multiple columns. Here we have 4 stations: Ortho 1, Ortho 2, ENT 1, and ENT 2. Here's Audiology 1, 2, Surgery Screening 1 and 2. We're about to flip over to Spanish. Now we're in the Spanish language depiction. Dental 2 is currently away. Dental 1 is waiting, but nobody's in line. Dental 3 and Dental 4 both are seeing a patient, and there's nobody waiting in line for those stations. X-ray is much busier. It has active patients and multiple patients in line, as is the case with ENT here, where they have multiple patients in line. You want to read these lines top to bottom and left to right. So the green patient will be the next patient, or the current patient. The yellow patient will be the next patient. And then below that will be waiting patients. And then if there's additional columns for the station, they will be read left to right. Here we can see X-ray 1 on the left, go top to bottom, and then go to the right. We're going to go over to X-ray 1 station, and we're going to check out the current patient, and then we'll put the station in away state. Again, this is something that the station operator does, not a runner. Now we're going to go back and verify that X-ray 1 is in fact away at lunch. At least that is depicted as such on the monitor screens. So we're about to flip over, and we'll be seeing this in Spanish because that's the next language that's coming up. There we are. X-ray 1 is showing a return time of about 30 minutes from now. Notice it's still showing the next patient in yellow. Once they come back, that'll be the patient that you need to take to X-ray 1 for care. We're deleting patients now from the queue. We're about to delete patient 22. And when we go back to the dental lines, we should see that these patients were moved into dental, with the exception of the first one, because that one was only scheduled to see X-ray on the routing slip. And here we can see patient 22 is now in line for dental 1, and dental 1 is in the process of having patient 14 taken to its chair by a runner, presumably. Again, just a few additional looks at the various screens in the monitor app. And we can see now 14 was actually checked into the chair by the dentist there. Thank you for viewing this tutorial. For more information, please visit our website at www.thousandSmiles.org. In the volunteer session, you will find a tutorials link where you can find more videos in this series. You can also search YouTube for Thousand Smiles EMR, and you will be able to find more videos in this series as well.